Arsenal also keeping an eye on Cunha's situation as they work to sign a forward in this window. Let's talk about Matheus Cunha then. I mean, how ambitious would this be from Nottingham Forest given the season they're having?
I think really ambitious, but I'm not shocked because they're in such a great position right now. You know, they're third in the league, they're joint with Arsenal, and that is going to be such a good move for them if they're really trying to fight to stay in that position, but also for seasons after as well. We've seen what happened to Brighton, you know, when they first got European football, how it affected them when players got injured, with Aston Villa when they started recruiting, and the players that they added to the quality when players like, you know, your Chris Woods and, you know, maybe your Gibbs White, if they're not in form, you can get a player that can play up top, he can play on the left, can play on the right. He's got 10 goals, 4 assists this season, and I think he's the type of player that a lot of these top sides should be signing, and if Nottingham Forest get him, that will be a really good thing for them.
I mean, just to reiterate, you know, Wolves adamant that he's going nowhere in this window. Dave, is he the difference between them staying up and going down? Is he that important to them?
I think so. You mentioned the stats before. He's been directly involved in 44% of Wolves' goals in the Premier League. So to lose a man of his quality, they're going to be dropping back a little bit. But you look at the stats you want for an attacker. He scored the most goals for Wolves, completed the most dribbles, created the most chances. When you look at big chances created as well, we can see the stat there with 11. That's more than the next 3 best players for Wolverhampton Wanderers combined. So there's a lot of things there where we're looking at this guy's making the difference. When also you look at game-winning goals as well that Wolves have scored this season, Cunha's been directly involved in 75% of those goals. So yes, Wolves would have a pretty difficult task to stay in the Premier League if they were to lose someone of Matheus Cunha's quality.
And there is a new contract as well on the table for Matheus Cunha at the moment, which we had heard earlier this window indeed that it was close to being agreed and signed, but that Cunha is also looking at his options in this transfer window as well. And not only Nottingham Forest interested in this player, but it seems like Arsenal as well. Should Arsenal be stepping in for him?
I think, like we said before, it's a difficult time for Arsenal, but I think he is kind of the middle ground between what they want in the summer and what they can get now. And I think for their fans, it will show that Arsenal are being ambitious and still chasing for the title this season. So I think he could be their go-to man.
So what's your gut saying? Do you think he stays this window, or do you think he goes?
I think it's difficult because for a player like him, when you're playing in such good form and you're seeing, you know, the goals aren't really contributing to wins, and yeah, at the start of the season we saw the run of games that they had and everyone said it's going to be difficult. But as the games have gone by, you're starting to see a frustrated figure, and you're starting to see, you know, things that you see from players of that standard. And I don't know if that's the type of attitude maybe you'd want in and around a team when you know you're fighting for it. But also he's come out, he's apologised at times, saying, you know, he could act better in certain situations. So if I was Wolves, they shouldn't let him go, because he's going to be key to them staying up.
Yeah, I mean, from a Wolves perspective, they'll be hoping the transfer window could be shutting tomorrow if they could, in order to keep this player. That he has been so important for them, but we'll wait and see for any developments on Cunha.
I haven't had as much time as you probably, so we're struggling with that. I know that we are in a really, really good position. A lot of things have to happen. So still, you know, we have to do our job, go to Girona and try to win the game, and then we'll have very much sense.
Gary from Sky. Yeah, I know you've just literally come off the pitch, done interviews and come in here, and you're not a mathematician.
You don't know that.
Well, you need to be. But Opta, who are, say that Arsenal are 100% sure to be in the round of 16.
Okay.
So I don't know, you don't know, but it sounds pretty promising. Does that mean you can go ahead and speak to the travel agents about warm weather break?
I'm going to ask Opta to speak to them. I think that's a better idea.
But couldn't have worked out better tonight, could it?
Nah, it's really good. And as well, we made certain changes for freshness to give minutes to certain